Hello everyone, my name is Alexi and welcome back to another Broken Arrow match review on the map Klaipeda Rift. So without further ado, we're going to get started here. So I think we started a little bit in the phase so I can kind of talk before the action starts, if you will. We're playing VDV guards. I think it's my most powerful RU deck. I'm most comfortable with it. I'm most comfortable with everything that I use in the deck, and overall, I think it works for me. So, I'll turn the volume up just a tad here, so we can hear what's going on in the game. There we go. Okay, back to normal programming. Continuing with our opener here, I elected for a lot of infantry, and a unique thing with the start of this match was we had all of our teammates just put down like on the outskirts, so the far left, and then every point on the right of that's on the front line. So A, B, and I think it's Hotel India. So I didn't really know where to play, right? And I didn't really know where to fit in very well at the start because there's no coordination between us. I mean, obviously I don't want to just, because I don't know if the enemy's going to go too left or too right. And so I'm going in between some of our teammates, but I was ready to shift if we needed it, just to be able to do that. Our teammate there with a good helo run to disrupt the enemy's opener. However, he only got one striker MGS trophy, which I don't think is EV for that helicopter, so something to consider. Unfortunately, there his transports on the left smoke out from that helicopter. So, and what I like to do when I start this game is every game, I like to draw a little bit once we get into kind of a set line, so I can demonstrate how I view the map going. Again, I'm only 2200, so I'm not the best in the world, but I'm hoping it helps some people just think a little more tactically about how their games are going. Because when you get in the game, you kind of need this preset. You need that idea at least. It's kind of like a chess opener. You're not going to be looking it up while you're playing chess, but it's good to have in your mind so that you know that you need it and you need to fight with it. So I'm looking at a good place to put recon here. Don't really find one. And then I'm just throwing some infantry down there. So once myself in the past puts his camera angled to a good point, we'll stop it and go from there. Okay, so this is a good point. So real quick, while the game continues, right? Or while the game's stopped here, just so I can demonstrate how I play this side of the map and view it. So as the team here on this side, right? Obviously, Bravo is kind of your main contention. The enemy typically controls this just because it's very defendable. There's a high point, and then tree line and other stuff. We're controlling up to here, and typically you have this forest is yours, and then this stuff is yours as well. That's how like the ebb and flow goes, but Bravo's a bit more the other side is what I'd say, because there's a lot of I just closed my drawing window, excuse me. There we go. There's a lot of room for the opposing side here to hide in, right? These are all buildings. And then they have these buildings, which kind of provide coverage over this way. But obviously we have this tower, which can see almost everything. So if you put ATGM team in there or something, and then you've got this as well. But my main point is that there's a lot of open space right here, especially if this is like hotly contested, and it's usually an RD range, so it gets bombed. A lot of open space there that you're fighting over. And then not a lot of open space here, right? The building is essentially touching the point, so they can run in, smoke, and capture the point. So my goal and objective during this game is obviously we're controlling the back point of golf, but that's not a fighting point. So we don't want to just sit there and sit for granted. I'm not a support deck, right? I can support my teammates, but that has to be through an offensive means or a defensive means with my ground units. I don't have the arty to be sitting behind and blowing up things, and I don't think it's very productive in this game anyways, unless you're really good at it. So I'm setting up on this line so that in case there is a push here, we're kind of a big sore in that side, and so that we can stop them from pushing. Because Alpha, obviously, this is typically US, and by US I mean the other side. And then this is us, but it gets contested quickly, just because, you know. But I do find that the fight typically will come right here if you're not careful about it. But whoever the offensive person is, it's either the fight is going here or the fight is going over here. But just because they have the two sides of buildings, right? They have one side here and one side here. We only have one side of building. So that means we're kind of at a disadvantage because there's more places for infantry to hide on that side. So my goal on this side is I want to deny any pushes that come from Delta, obviously, which isn't too hard to do. Just throw ATGM teams down. And then I want to support my guy on the Bravo side. And I'm going to use this area as a big FOB to do that. And if I notice myself, not doing that, we need to reevaluate. And that's what I like to do in the game is like, what am I doing and how do we transition this into winning? So you'll see some of that in the game today. Enough of me yapping, and let's get back to the actual game that you all want to watch, right? You don't want to listen to me yap all day. I left that on the screen. 1 second. There we go. It's gone. Drink of choice tonight is a white monster, of course. We're only fueled by the best. And I know the last video was the same deck, but I've really been liking these VDV Metis teams. They don't have like the most pen, and the missile's super slow, but that cord is just a good way to say to any infantry approaching you, stay away. And now I'm viewing my homeboy on the left here. I noticed I had a lot of points stacked up, so I'm like, I need Barbarous or something. Gonna get some more recon on this side. Homeboy on the left here has a lot of infantry, and once I start reevaluating what's going on, which may take a little bit, I'll realize that he's 2v1 over here currently. He's got dark brown, and then he's got yellow. And yellow will be our main opponent of the game, but we're going to bring the tank over, engage this LAV over here, which then drives away. And the tank's going to go support our teammate out, even though he's kind of already dead. Like his infantry's dead, so. And then 2 M10 Bookers. One thing I was curious this game, I don't know if my opponent just doesn't know. I'm not sure. You'd think at this ELO someone might, but he's using non-APS Bookers, which kind of defeats the point of using the Booker in my opinion. Because like, you run a Booker at infantry, if it's got APS, it's going to stun them after the first hit. And then you can do lots of bad things. But if you don't have APS, they're just going to get eaten alive by any infantry. And then I see the supply truck moving. I don't recognize that. Maybe it should have... It was coming from the center, it looked like. I think the supply's on the building there where that smoke is, and it's not where my arty's firing. So... pretty bad choice by me, just not recognizing that. And our BMD is engaging Booker with APS on the right side. So. And the Sprezit loses to the helicopter, which I kind of expected, but dies to an Igniting. I really like the smoke on the BMD-2Ms, if you're not spamming them at least, because they're a cheap ATGM carrier, and they can do some damage and discourage people from coming at you. And then one of the things I've started to be doing is with this deck, I find I have a big supply depot with that MTSM, but then I don't have enough supplies, and I have to bring up like 2K from the other one. So now I've been ferrying that MTSM supplies with just one truck that I leave over from the starting push. And it really helps me just put more supplies around so my infantry can access it without it being like a 10k supply depot that we're risking. He starts bombing things with the F-35s, so we're gonna buy a book, excuse me. Yeah, one thing I found, at least where I'm at, you kind of, I guess now with how you're facing US decks, right? If you're not in the infantry slog, if you've got a lot of this open area. Oh, I don't know why my Tor did that either. That was kind of just an L. I guess I'll just go fuck myself at that point. As I was saying before my brain veered thoughts, if you're not bringing something that has APS in this, like obviously it is a little crutch, right? But it also gives you, in essence, another smoke, right? Because an APS is basically a smoke charge in practice because it's stopping an ATGM from hitting you. A smoke does the same thing. Obviously, there's the vision obscurement and there's other things. But you're giving yourself an advantage and you're setting yourself up for an advantage by using a vehicle with APS to push across open terrain that might have ATGMs or like a helicopter or something. It gives you a little more survivability so your vehicle can actually do something. On maps like this where it's just opposing and there's going to be a lot of ATGM and RD spam, I do really recommend just bringing something like that so that we can at least effectively fight the enemies, if that makes sense. And if you don't bring APS, it's fine, but you need to be utilizing smoke. Especially with the smoke buffs for howitzer already. I don't see a point in not bringing smoke of some time. Just because, like, if you want your infantry to get somewhere and you're in this type of meat slog, but your infantry can't get across to support your whatever standout you have because there's ATGMs, your APS vehicle might be able to actually make that gap with its smoke and APS, but your non-APS vehicle might just take an ATGM and be at 1 health before it even starts the fight. And then you have a 70-point vehicle that's just useless. And so here, I don't know what I'm doing with the Nanas, to be honest. I'm trying to deny access, because I don't see any ATGMs on our side. There might be on the very bottom, but I'm trying to deny access and visual information for the enemy, so that they think, oh, maybe there's a push coming, or they're doing something with the smokes, so we have to watch out for that. And you can see my teammate doesn't actually have a lot of ATGMs, so I think it's helpful to him. Now, this is where the theme of the game starts to become evident. We've settled in for first phase, and now we get to see what the ebb and flow of this is going to look like. And unfortunately, it's yellow making this decision. We're not the one making, we're not the one setting the pace of this fight. It's going to be yellow almost the entire game. And that puts us at a detriment. We're just unable to do that. And then he's got M1 HC out, so I think I'm just going to kill it, right? No. Smoke's out at the last second. Which is crazy. The smoke doesn't even register on my screen, and the ATGM just flies straight through it. But yellow is starting to push AAVPs up and other vehicles on the side over behind, and I'm just trying to draw lines with my mortars to hopefully. But there's AAVPs and other things right there that are coming up to do bad things to me, and I frankly don't have enough infantry there to help. And my other opponent is too busy fighting over here, so they're my other teammate. But the Nanas are just going to be kind of peppering over there. I do actually really do like the Nana. For, what is it, 85 points? you get a pretty powerful mortar package, 120 millimeters. And then it has the ability to be lasered, so you can kill things like helicopters if you really need to. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend using it as your primary air defense, is guess what I mean. One thing I forget about the striker here, almost positive this is the case. You see how he's moving it. I don't think he has any smokes. I don't think the striker shore red comes with smokes. It's just something I don't think. And then he fire and forgets that ATGM outside his range, which is fine, but yeah, he was gonna keep playing that game with the Hellfire, and I wasn't gonna play that with the Barbarous. It's too expensive. You can see all these AAVPs and all these M1A1s just sitting behind these buildings, which is really a good advantage for him, and we're kind of just supporting this outcropping here to hold on to Bravo, because if we lose these buildings, we're not going to be able to hold Bravo. And then I'm drawing the TAWs here, and he's got a sniper somewhere because he can see my TAWs, which I don't find out till too late. Unfortunate stuff. It would have been really helpful. And I still don't know if he maybe had a Global Hawk. I don't know, to be honest. There's something here that can see my TAWs. But it would have been very helpful in assisting with this push, because there's a lot of units here. This is like we didn't really see a lot of his opener. This is a lot of his opener. But a lot of his vehicles don't have APS or are low on APS now, so I'm bringing out things to deal with that. And I notice him trying to kill Barbarous, and then he kills the TAWs. I'm like, damn. Now I gotta buy a plane to deal with my problem. But luckily for me, as long as the bomb comes in good, we're probably going to be able to defend the cap, which means we're actually winning in terms of the start of this, because we got 2 cap points right now. Here I kill one thing with that bomber. Not really a good bomb. I should have just gone for the tank. But it was something. I don't know what it was, but it was helpful. And then he's got 2 tanks up here. I'm trying to bait the Skrezit out to maybe engage one of his AIs onto me, like the AI that's controlling whatever the fuck that is, but it doesn't work. So I use it to smoke for my Kurganets instead, so that it can kill infantry and stuff. Sometimes you just gotta be creative with how you use your vehicles. Blocking line of sight's important. And I realize I'm running low on supply, so we're getting more supply up. Tank needs to come back into the fight as well. And I don't know where I'd thrown Barbarous, but I'm pretty sure it's still alive at this point. But lots of infantry here now. And the smoke is useless here because I'm too close, so they can just see me still. And then there's 2 tanks sitting there, which is not fun. Don't want them to do anything. And there's Booker. I don't know. There's just lots of unfun things happening, is how I describe it. And here the BMD-2M is shooting ATGMs out, and it gets through and kills a FEP trophy. So it's a 50-point vehicle killing a 350-point vehicle, which is pretty good. And they must have point farmed me at the very end or something, because we're 2-2 now. Targeting where I saw the clump of units, and I don't kill anything. Again, 2 pretty bad bombing runs, but not the worst. Like, we didn't lose the plane for either one, so. And here I'm recognizing my opponent has now lost his main tank, and he's probably out of steam. And my homeboy on the left here has, what, 2 T-14s? So we're going to help him out. There's no point in not assisting him and making ELO pay for this overextension without supplies super close. We run into this double small team, which is going to be trouble. But instead of fighting it, I'm just going to drive away from it and kind of delay for the Armada so the Armada can go kill important things in the backline. Which he immediately makes this worth it because he kills a HIMARS. And I think I wanted my tank to kill the AAVP because then he can't move his infantry back as much. And so his infantry's stuck there and it's going to take longer for it to get wherever it needs to be. But AAVP, oh, I do kill it, but when a vehicle's stunned in this game, it takes forever to kill whatever the fuck it's shooting at. And then here I would have really liked to punish him, but just unable to. I don't have a bomber to drop on that supply point where all of his troops are going to be supplying at. But teammate has lots of BMDs and stuff, or BMP3s coming up, so we're going to assist with that. Here I'm trying to get cheeky with the BMD2 I'm hearing. Might as well, right? It ripples, fires, cornets, and it has a 30 mil, and it kills the striker, so good EV with that one. And then big infantry slog over here. Brown's coming to help Yellow because Yellow's probably screaming that he's getting destroyed. One thing I noticed in this match, and I do notice a lot, is that it's hard, obviously, in this game to do, like, to take advantage of when your team's doing well. But sometimes you need to do that right. Because I was trying to help my teammate out, Green, because we pushed a little bit, and I was helping him push, and we punished the enemy by destroying his back line, essentially rolling his left flank. But now, orange, brown, or dark, whatever the hell that color is, I don't know, and yellow are all focused on us, and yellow's got increased income because all of his units are dead, right? Almost all of them, I'm assuming at this point. So yellow's got really good income, and so that means all of his units are going to be trickling in a second. So we're 2v2, and a third is coming quickly. The homeboys on the right, they are fighting their own battle, right? So, you know, it's harder to capitalize. But if you notice that your enemy's pushing somewhere else, if you re-pick that aggro on them, their units are now mismatched, right? They're going to fight to relieve whoever just got fucking, like, wrecked by the other guys. And in that case, it's us. We're wrecking yellow. So they're fighting to relieve yellow. And you have a localized point advantage, which means you can take advantage of that and do some damage. However, some decks just don't allow for that. And that's why I really like the VDV guards deck. You can defend okay, and you have really good offensive capabilities, which makes it useful in a lot of situations. And I don't know why I didn't just do unload order here, but I don't. So get some eyes and some Metis teams set up right here so that they can't really use this courtyard now. Double Metis team and some Razveka. So. And now we're in the lull of the game with 25 minutes left. I really haven't paid attention to the left over here, but this guy's just so lost. It's kind of ridiculous. Honestly, if we do pan over there again, I'll try to assist. I get my nanas back up. I just like the smoke. The smoke's helpful. You can use it to deceive your enemies. Be like, oh, look at this. Or do whatever. So. It seems the guy on the right here is just content with a defensive posture, which is fine. He's not. The defensive posture is fine for this, but he also probably needs to assist his teammate, which is lighter green, in attacking the point over on the right if he's not gonna help with Delta. Because sure, we have the point advantage right now, but quickly kills could shift in their favor because they have a lot of support equipment. They've got F-35s, they've got HIMARS. I just don't like sitting still, especially on a map where it already becomes pretty powerful. So. He brings a SEP out without any ATGM protection, so it almost dies. And then my BMD2 gets ganked by those 2 tanks that we failed to kill earlier. So I'm smoking off Delta to make him think, oh, maybe there's a push coming. And then deny whatever ATGM that is, vision. Because he has an ATGM on Delta, and it just gets annoying, so. And it does actually trigger a tank push. If you see that his tanks quickly push over into the courtyard, and then they get double ATGM'd and they push back. And then here, I get 2 teammates that disconnect at once. Seems like both the Russians do, so I don't know if there's a Russian server problem or what. But no good there. And then the Barbarous is dumping Cornets at tanks and killing them. So. But Yellow's ready for another push. So we have to be prepared for that. And then I also have to manage all of my guys' units on the left, and I don't even focus on the far left, even though they're mine as well. So. Not good there, but I mean, there's a point where there's too much micro to be had. So I'm just tucking his expensive units behind and then seeing where he wanted supplies and things like that. And Yellow has just the perfectly timed push for both our Russian guys dropping too, because now there's a brown tank over here, there's a yellow tank over here. It's getting stupid quickly. And then look at those double Medices, man. They're able to do damage. It's pretty impressive. I really like them. And then on the far left here, like what's even happening? I mean, my homeboy is confined to the edge of the map. Luckily the guy he's facing is playing pretty passive, and then I don't know, again, there could be snipers somewhere, but he's just predicting where my tanks are going, which makes me a little angry. And I always just get angry because I can't find the recon. And then I'm throwing these VDV DSH squads in, and they just fucking shred tanks. Look at that. 2 tanks dead in a second. Fucking ridiculous. And we have enough money, and the bombers are refreshed, which is lucky. And I'm like, fuck it. We're going to blow up some of these small teams. So, far left essentially collapsed, but... And look at this beautiful fucking bomb. Whew! Just excellent work there. But he has more. Brown's here too, right? And now I'm fighting 2 players with the micro of 1, but our teammates have disconnected, so I think we get a little supplemental income from that, which I don't really notice. And then these Bookers here. The enemy of the Booker and CQC is a VDV DSH team. I've said it. I'll say it again. Look at it. It just fucking melted it. Again, it doesn't have APS, but even with APS, it's not going to have a fun time. So here with the income that we're getting from these guys disconnected, it's helpful, I guess, in terms of this fight, because Brown's not doing anything on the far left, but with this bomb here, I think this is kind of a misplaced bomb, to be honest. I don't know. He gets, what, 1 infantry squad, maybe? Never mind. Kills 3 things. That's worth it. I don't know what the fuck I killed behind there, but killed 3 things. Then I see my Russian teammates are reconnecting, so I'm just trying to move things that are probably getting already because they're out in the open. And then here I'm smoking across this line to make him lose vision, to say the least. I'm trying to play some deception here, right? So he's like, oh, why is he smoking? Are there more infantry coming up? And he just doesn't have access to what's in that courtyard, which makes him more hesitant to push across it. And I'm telling Russian teammates that he did some things. I don't know how much English he actually fucking understands, but I mostly play with EU and Chinese players just on my location and what servers I play. But the guy on the far left, man, let me just rant for a second, dude. Like, what is... I mean, he just got back, to be fair. But he's pushed back so far that he's getting APS'd. I don't know if there's something here. I mean, the control of whatever point this is, Charlie maybe, is minimal at best. And I'm sure the opponent's got shit right here. At this point, I understand the spawns over here, but just like throw an HEGM team and a Stinger team here. Put like tank here, some type of ATGM team here maybe. You want to prevent, obviously, like the main supply route from being threatened, which is right here. But his services and the fight, I have a feeling he's going to have a much better fight. This shit sucks to fight in. If he redraws his line so that he fights more like this, and this is more defensive holding, not really actual holding, and then kind of defends here, and then his main blow comes like this way, he's able to both, if he wants to, threaten to fight this guy, and then he's gonna have to divert resources over there, or he can push this way and attack the point from a forested and more protected area. Out here, you're dying to javelins, you're dying to helicopters, you're dying to everything the U.S. is good at, and you're not playing to any of the RU strengths which is strength in numbers. You have localized firepower advantage most of the times you're fighting something, unless it's infantry, but your vehicles can kill infantry. So, yeah, again, I would have played this side differently, but I'm not the one playing over there, so I can't really kvetch about it too much. But it's just like, at some point, this isn't working. You need to switch it. Otherwise, the game's just going to go. You're going to lose it. Oh, the northern lights are really pretty right now. Look at that. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. Again, the bookers, man. They're just getting fed. And there's some planes up. What was that, F-35? We're just getting bombed. And honestly, my defensive line at this point, extremely weak. All I've got are these VDV DSH squads to defend with. And I knew I couldn't kill the infantry there, so I just tried to kill his transport so he couldn't reload his infantry. Because if he got those infantry in a transport, he could drive one of those woods, and I think it would be a bad time. But because he didn't, I'm just trying to predict where they're going to go so I can mortar them. I thought he was going to hide behind that building. It would have been a good building to hide behind. Instead, he kind of just walks in over here. So, I don't know. Then the Metis team, man, just harassing. It does some damage. It does some freaking damage. And then I'm like, oh, look at this. I don't know what I was doing here, to be honest. we're gonna ignore that. But here, obviously, like, I've got a lot of points, but I'm not really using them. It's almost phase 2. But it looks like we're winning right now, phase 2, right? They wanted to surrender a bit ago, but we're winning now. Or so it seems, right? I don't know. Who knows how this game could have transpired? I don't know. I'm a third party watching, just like you guys. So Alpha here is getting just spammed. And my guy didn't have anything on the point just to hold it, which he should have just thrown something, because I don't know. Why are we fighting for the point if we're not going to hold it at the end of phase? That's the only time it matters, right? So Obviously, holding the point is important, but you need to recognize some of those things. And then my Nanas got destroyed because I got too cocky, but the Kiowa died, so worth it. Even though points-wise, not worth it at all. Now the Arty's starting. I don't know if those are Brutuses or what, but they're getting annoying. And now at the end of phase, he captured the point at the very end, and they must have gotten kills or something. So 2-6, the 4-point advantage leaves us, and how equal the game this has been, with not a lot of options. And my teammates on the right are far too passive to actually deal with it. Unfortunately, I don't want to rag on my teammates, but and I'm also to blame, right? I'm not very active here. I'm not helping fight when I could be. So part of it's on me, but I am at least helping to hold Bravo and fighting a couple players over here. And I don't know where guy on the left went, if he just despawned and has stopped playing or what, but it just seems like he's not really helping. I'm looking on the mini map on the bottom there. You see that? Like 2 units. What the hell, man? Not fun. That's not cool, dude. That's not cool. And comment down below if you're still here. First of all, be like, wow, I heard what he's talking about here. If you'd like to see live casts or something where I just comment during the game, I'll probably talk less if that's something someone's interested in. So. And here I'm still beating my head over this. I just put the vehicles there because I want to control the point, but I think they just start driving and it's just not good. And this Book here has been a pretty good deterrent. I like that spot for anti-air. Sometimes I forget to buy anti-air, but it is important, right? Just to punish the U.S. players and their planes, so that they have to think twice about the point expenditure. Otherwise, they just keep bombing you, and it gets stupid and annoying and stupid. And I see the AAVPs over here. I'm like, ah, fuck. And then I'm like, oh, my Barbarous or maybe my Draws is getting lased. Wasn't being lased, but he definitely saw it, and he's definitely trying to HIMARS it. So, speaking of, in the update, the U.S. HIMARS with the cluster still has the old aim time, and they haven't fixed it. And it's been 4 days since the update started. So what the hell, man? And now he's putting infantry in with that AAVP, and my medics team's getting bombed by this RDO, which is just relentless. So now I kind of have to figure out how I'm gonna fight this side, because my guy on the left, he's too busy fighting Brown, who is just wiping the guy on the super far left, and it's making it very hard to play the game because of that. But we're still holding our point, so despite the sniper infiltrations and the F-15 EXs and stuff, we're still able to make some do. But Brown's presence is being felt more and more on the actual point, which doesn't make it enjoyable. Here I should have bombed the infantry cluster. Instead I bombed the AAVP, which just means his infantry's out because it doesn't die when the bomb hits. I should have bombed the infantry in the smoke and then dealt with the AAVP in a bit. But, you know, the benefit of hindsight, it's whatevers. And here, man, this is where the Barbarous shines, right? You're able to kill infantry, be in a supporting role, and support your IFEs that are coming up to actually drop infantry onto the enemies here. Super helpful stuff. And here I smoke out the small team, right? And my guys are in the smoke, clearly in the smoke. And his guy just starts driving at me and shooting shit. But we kill the IFE, and then he drops a bunch of fucking anti-infantry on there, so I gotta leave. And then there's more. There's Bookers, there's tanks, there's Shorad, and there's another AAVP coming in. I'm sure I've got my stuff on my side, but I also want to hold. I have a point to worry about. He's got, I mean, Delta he does have to worry about. It doesn't really seem like he's playing Delta, right? He's playing the other map, so. Look at those. Look how close to the front line those Brutuses are. On the far left there. Holy smokes, man. And look, I don't know what's going on with, is it my ping or what, but he's hitting shots through straight smoke. And it was really irritating. Because, like, I shouldn't have lost an APS charge there. But I did. And then you can see my infantry that I ordered just blindly and forgot about in those trucks. They're now all dead on the side of the road. And I'm like, what the hell, man? And my homeboy hasn't even captured Alpha. Like, just walk something on a point and smoke off. It's good to at least hold the point so that if they do a rush at the end, you can have something just smoked off in the corner and they have to go fight it. And there's two fucking small teams out there. I'm getting hunted down by a FEP or whatever the hell. My teammate is raging at the fact we don't have a left flank. And then my arena just gets... I smoke? Like, they don't even look like they're being lased, right? I don't know. I think that's just because it's so close that he doesn't... It's just got a really close accuracy. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but... It's irritating, man, when you're trying to fight someone and their trump card is blowing up things. However, unfortunately for him, I've also got trump cards, and they also blow up things. So, and I see this Booker resupplying here. Right there. I'm like, wow. Definitely a supply depot there. And you can tell because the Booker's health's going up. And that's how you know there's a supply depot. Here I'm just smoking my infantry and trying to get them back, but... And look at that, 3 kills. And I thought I got, like, the Booker and the 2 tanks, because that was a pretty well-placed bomb. And I'm typing, I think I got his tanks, and his Booker drives away. I'm like, well, if the Booker's still alive, tanks definitely, or not. So, we've got 7 minutes left. We're winning by a +3. But we don't, and now it's equal on kills because they're RDing us. But we need to win on at least a +6 to win this game. And that's a very hard overcome to come through. The +4 they got really is fucking us here. I'm asking my teammate, hey man, can you just smoke Delta when I get a unit up? And I'm just driving stuff and I'm trying to prepare an offensive with these 2 BMDs, right? So my plan here is to smoke off the front of Delta and maybe smoke off the sides. But I don't have Nanas and they're going to take too long, in my opinion, to get to the front line when I actually need units for this push. So I'm like, hey man, can you just smoke? And then I see that his Kalitzia, which is the only thing that can smoke, is getting fucking bombed and he didn't move in time, so it gets blown up. Very unfortunate. The Sex Eagle, man, it's really powerful. Those cruise missiles and the seed missiles together, they make it very hard to actually kill things. I look on our left, that guy's just not doing anything. Again, raging a little bit. I don't, losing is part of this game. It's how you learn. But when you lose a lot, this guy's been getting his shit kicked in for 3 fucking rounds. You need to just change things up. I've been on games where I'm losing on a point so badly, I just go, nope, I'm not fighting that. I throw down a couple holding units because there's not a point I'm fighting for anymore. And he's not fighting for a point either. He's just fucking playing in the woods. And then I go actually help my team take points, and we win the game. That's what you need to do. You just need to accept that despite however many points you've thrown into the meat grinder on your point, they're not changing the outcome, and your enemy is winning. So you need to move, and you need to do a new strategy. And here, I'm just thinking about kind of the same thing. I'm like, dude, we've thrown a lot of points into the meat grinder on the stuff over by Bravo over there. Oh my god. That's gross. You know, over here. But has it really helped us at all? We're down -6. I would argue not. So, now we're going to prep an offensive to try to win the game from our team. I'm trying to communicate to my team as well. This game, I think, would benefit from a VoIP system, but it'd be pretty abused, so I understand why there's not one in here. And then, I just get fucked. It's so brutal, man. And they must be getting lased or something. Even though I don't see the laser, but they just follow me straight on. And I don't think they were laced, actually. I think those ones were good. But I've got the Kamaz here, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go resupply, and I've got a truck to put those guys into. So the world isn't lost, but I need to hide things a little bit better. And then he did kill my helicopter at one point as well, but I was too busy yapping. Excuse me there, the white monster went down a little weird. So we're going to grab more supplies and go resupply our troops. 3 minutes, scores are equal, which means they win. There's no offensive action anywhere from our team on the right side. And so, if I do nothing, we're going to lose, right? We're not going to get the kills back, and we're not getting any flags back. So, I'm going to do a lot in order to attempt this. Because we just need to. There's no way we're winning this game without some crazy push. Because you never know. You might get in their back line, you might kill a lot of units, and you might bounce out that point, distro. Or you might not. He dropped snipers in with that LAV. I don't know what he's doing there. But, it's time to go, proverbially, for me. I've got the BMDs ready. I've got trucks ready. Some of you may die, and they're at +3. I don't know how they got +3, but they killed something important already. So, literally, there's no loss here. It looks like maybe the +3 is my opponent on the our player on the left was actually able to cap his point at great cost. So here we're doing helicopters coming to support against the infantry and lighter vehicles, and then the 2 tanks are going to soak up the damage. Helicopters just hiding behind buildings at low altitude so that he just menaces all these AAVPs again. And look how much shit there is here. I'm just getting, look at this, man. I'm just getting planes flown at me out the wazoo, bro. But you gotta push on, right? You gotta get to the point. Helicopters in, and he's out of ammo of everything. Trying to smoke up to get to Delta. And we've got a minute left, so the timer's a little fucked up, and all our infantry's kind of dead. But we've got 2 helicopters here. They're attempting to engage everything that's pushing them. And I'm like, oh fuck, dude! I've got entirety of Yellow's army just attacking me, and Brown. So I'm getting 3v1'd over here, and I'm just raging out a little bit. But we are taking Delta. He didn't have anything on there. And now I'm just like, well, maybe we can balance out the kills or something, and the plane gets shot down. He clicked the missile, switched it, and unfortunate. I think that plane would have been my only hope in saving this game. But homeboy on the left was somehow able to take his point. Again, I don't... At the great cost it came from, I don't know if it was worth it. But... yeah, we attempted to win this game, and we just weren't able to. Trying our best. Some coordination with team might have been helpful, but I don't know. Even regardless of this, I think this was a really well-played game. Not well-played, but it was a good game by us, right? We had significant game impact and KD, which I like. I was just looking at what kind of got the kills. Deravitsia was not mine. I don't know. I definitely did not order a Deravitsia. I don't think I even have it. Do I have a Deravitsia in this deck? I don't think I do. I think that was when our unit swapped over. The Deravitsia just got some kills. So that doesn't count towards my KD, but SU-34s did good. The VDV DSH did pretty good. And then losses side, kind of a little bit of everything. Lots of planes, HIMARS. FEP Trophy was killing me pretty good. And then our teammate had really low amounts of we'll go back there real quick just to show you, but really low amounts of KD there. 2,000 kills. I mean, I don't know what they were doing on the right, but you shouldn't be getting 2,000 kills in a game, especially if your losses are 4,000. So, but enough of my kvetching. That's a good match review. That's our first loss that we're uploading to the Hinge. And sometimes losing's okay. You just gotta. It's a good learning experience. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.